In the quiet corners of Joseon's history, there are tales never recorded in the annals. Stories whispered in low voices, kept from the official books. This is one of them. It begins not with a ghost, but with a brush, and a book that wrote itself. His name was Kim Un-woo, a young scholar, just 27 years of age, brilliant but quiet. He had failed the gwagwe, the civil service exam, twice. The shame weighed heavy on his family name. To escape the whispers and judgment, Un-woo left Hanyang and moved to a small rural village outside Gyeongju. There, in an abandoned pavilion by the lotus pond, he lived alone and studied day and night. The villagers called him the mad calligrapher, not out of cruelty, but because they often saw him writing until sunrise, brush in hand, ink-stained fingers, reciting lines of poetry to no one. One day, during his weekly trip to the market, he found an old man selling books by the roadside, dusty volumes bundled in straw. Among them, one book had no title. Its cover was black, the leather cracked with age. When Un-woo picked it up, he felt a chill, though the sun was warm that day. "This book, take it," the old man said. "No need to pay. It's been waiting for someone." That evening, Un-woo opened the book. Every page was blank. He was disappointed, but intrigued. Perhaps he could use it for practicing calligraphy. He lit a candle, prepared his inkstone, and dipped the brush. But the moment the ink touched the paper, words began to appear. Not his. His brush moved, but it was as if something guided it. Line by line, word by word, elegant hanja unfolded. At first he thought a trick of fatigue, but the sentences made sense. A story, a poem, a memory. He read the first passage. "The young man writes not from will, but from what has already been written." He laughed nervously and set the book aside. That night, he dreamed of ink spilling endlessly, blackening his hands, his eyes, the floor beneath him. Each night, the same thing happened. Un-woo would sit to write, and his hand would move on its own. Sometimes it wrote poetry, melancholy, tragic. Other times, it recorded conversations he had not yet had. One entry chilled him. "On the third day of the fourth moon, a visitor will come. He brings questions, but no answers." Exactly as foretold, 3 days later, a royal inspector from Hanyang visited the village. He asked for Un-woo. "They say you possess a gift." He denied it. "It's only calligraphy." But that night, the book wrote again. "You lie. You do not own the gift. The gift owns you." Terrified, Un-woo took the book to the village monk, Venerable Sudek, who had studied rare texts. The monk flipped through the pages, frowning. "This is not just paper." He dipped the edge of the book in water. The ink didn't run, but the water turned faintly red. "This is blood ink, the kind used in forbidden rites." He explained, centuries ago, in the Goryeo era, certain monks created memory books, vessels for souls to anchor themselves in writing. The books would write on their own, telling the story of the trapped spirit. But if someone read too far or wrote within it, the book would begin writing them. He said, "Burn it, now." But when Unwoo returned home, the book was already open, and on its latest page was written, "The monk speaks wisely. He will die tonight." Unwoo ran to the temple. Too late. Master Sudek was found lifeless, his face calm, hands folded, brush still in hand. From that day, Unwoo locked the book away. But the writing did not stop. The ink appeared on the walls of his pavilion, on his rice paper scrolls, even in his dreams. The voices whispered, "Write, write or be forgotten. You are already ink." One night, the book wrote a passage, "You will take your own life in the 7th month. A rope, a beam, a silence no ink can break." Unwoo snapped. He fled the village, carrying only the cursed book. He wandered for days, then found himself in Sanam Temple, near the southern coast. There, he met a blind woman who claimed to be a mudang, a spirit channeler. She told him, "The book carries not one spirit, but many. Each reader adds their pain, their memory, their ink. You must finish the final page. Only then will the story close." Back at the pavilion, Unwoo lit his final candle. The book was nearly full. He took a deep breath and dipped the brush and wrote, "This is my story. I did not choose it, but I have lived it. Let this ink dry forever. Let no one read again." As he finished the last line, the candle went out. The pages turned black, and the book crumbled to ash. Years later, another young scholar arrived in Gyeongju. He rebuilt the pavilion, now overgrown with moss. One day, as he cleared the floorboards, he found a small box. Inside was a single blank book, its cover black, the leather cracked with age. He opened it, blank. He smiled, dipped his brush in ink, and began to write. Some say stories are born from imagination. Others say they are passed down like ghosts, waiting for the next hand to hold the brush. So tell me, what would your hand write if the ink chose you?